The first kick shook the frame and set my picture frames clattering. It was 4:03 a.m. My porch light was off. The street was quiet. Then came the second kick, sharp, heel first, like she owned my door. My two K9s, Ridge and Briar, hit the hallway like thunder. Low growls, hackles up. I slid the chain, peered through the crack, and saw her face lit by a hard white beam. Karen, polished nails, ponytail, a bundle of shiny keys in her fist like a trophy. Two younger guys from the Homeowner Association stood behind her, one filming with his phone, the other trying not to look at me. "It's a welfare check," she said, putting her foot toward the threshold. "You didn't answer calls. There were screams. The dog sounded distressed." "Your master key didn't work," I said. "That must hurt." She lifted her chin. "Emergency protocol. Let us in." Funny thing is, I've opened my door to strangers all my life. That night, I held it with my shoulder and felt every screw in the hinges. You ever feel your own home tilt away from you, like you're the guest now? Drop a comment if you know that feeling. "Back up your foot," I told her. Ridge's bark cracked the air. Briar's teeth flashed in the gap. Her cameraman whispered, "Karen, maybe—" She cut him off. "Sir, if you refuse access, we'll note non-compliance." She smiled for the lens. It looked like a smile you'd wear to a bake sale. It did not touch her eyes. "Here's what happened next," I said, voice steady. I closed the door, slipped the deadbolt, and let the silence answer for me. Outside, I heard her stage whisper, "Document everything." Keys clinked, footsteps on gravel. Then the night took them back. Let me back up. I'm Dean, 56. I used to run stages for a living. Lights, sound, sight lines. My job was to make other people look good and no one get hurt. I lost my wife 3 winters ago. Some nights I still set a plate for her by mistake. Ridge and Briar kept me from talking to walls. They're trained, they're steady. They're the last part of me that listens. In sun rose like a bruise. I brewed coffee and found a yellow sign stuck into my lawn. Dog nuisance investigation pending. Big bold letters, public enough to sting. I laughed once, short and mean. A push notification pinged my phone. Community group post. Thumbnail, "My house in the dark." Title, "Stepping in to help." The video started with Karen whispering, "We're checking on a neighbor." Dogs barking, her concerned face. It cut before her first kick. Comments rolled underneath like bottle caps in a gutter. "Those dogs are aggressive. He's unstable." Good for you, Karen. If you've ever watched your name turn into a rumor while you're still chewing toast, you know that dry taste. What would you say back? My son Mike called. We don't talk often. He works spreadsheets and lives 2 cities over. He always sounds like a meeting. "Dad, are you okay?" he said. "I saw a clip. Are the dogs locked up all day?" That one hit soft and deep. "No," I said. "You know me." "I don't know," he said. "Not lately." The line went quiet. I hung up and tried not to watch the door. Around noon, I found a little open packet tucked near the base of my fence. Smelled sweet like fake peanut butter. Probably nothing, might be something. I imagined a hand slipping it there in the dark, a smile behind a phone. I bagged it and dropped it in the trash. Ridge paced the fence line. Briar knows the boards, whined once. "We're fine," I told them. "We're fine," like that makes it true. I stepped out to check the mailbox and nearly ran into Tom. He's ex-military, squared away, always mowing in straight lines. He nodded, eyes on the street. "She came to me last week," he murmured. "Wanted me to sign a complaint about your dogs. Said they bark at kids. Told her no, figured you should know." "Appreciate it," I said. "She's planning a smell check tonight, whatever that is." He grimaced. "Watch your back, Dean. Here's the twist you won't see coming. Some people who look like your problem are actually your warning signs. Ever had a neighbor who doesn't talk much save you a disaster with one sentence? Let me know." At 3, Karen showed up in daylight with a tiny dog muzzle, pink plastic, smiley hearts. 2 Homeowner Association boys behind her, phones ready. She held it out through my gate like a gift. "It's for the community," she said, "so everyone feels safe." I looked at the muzzle, then at her. Then I took it. I unclipped the strap, lifted it up, and fastened it around my own mouth. The buckles pinched my cheeks. People on the sidewalk stopped. A couple chuckled. I held her gaze through little heart-shaped holes. No words, just that. You could hear a leaf land. She blinked. That's not funny. Feels about right, I said through plastic. I took it off and set it on the fence post. You can pick it up later. Here's what she didn't know. I don't mind looking foolish if it draws a clean line. Have you ever done something that made you look dumb to make a point? Tell me. By dusk, the pressure changed shape. My internet died. Unpaid bill, the voice on the phone said. I pay on autopilot. I know how that sounds, but I do. The timing wasn't timing. My cameras went offline. My house felt blind. The back window of my garage cracked at 11 p.m. Not a full break, just a stone and a mean hand. I walked out with a flashlight and a wrench and felt old. Ridge and briar pressed into my legs, shaking. I checked the gate. The wire twists were loose. Not cut, but loose, like someone wanted a scare, not a crime. That might be worse. I sat on the cold floor next to Ridge and wrapped my arm around his neck. His heartbeat thumped into my forearm. The garage smelled like oil and dust. No speeches, no tough guy lines. Just me and two animals who trust me to be better than this. You ever sit in your own house and feel like a trespasser? Like you have to whisper? I did. Morning came with another post from Karen. For everyone's safety, we're limiting dog walks on this block until the investigation is complete. She had no power to say that. Didn't matter. People nodded along in gray little comments. The worst defeats aren't official. They're when your own street looks at you like a headline. I almost drove to the Homeowner Association office. I almost wrote a long email with words like liability and harassment. That's the obvious path, right? Complain to the people who started the fire. Let me back up and tell you why I didn't. For 20 years in theaters, I learned one thing. The person who controls the light controls the story. You can make a broom look like a sword with the right shadow. You can make a hero shrink if you light him from above. I wasn't going to argue in their hallway. I was going to change the room. So I dug in the storage bins I hadn't touched since my last tour, found an old smoke tester we used to check beams, a box of cheap laser pointers still in plastic, gaffer tape, a roll of glow tape that drinks light and spits it back, an analog high-8 camcorder with night mode and a battery that still held a memory of charge. "Oi, Dean," Tom called over the fence. "You good?" "I'm building a rehearsal," I said. He grunted like he understood and didn't. "That's okay. Sometimes you explain after." Here's what I set up. I taped the lasers across the inside of my entry hall like thin red threads. Harmless. But if someone pushed the handle, those lines would slice the air and hit a strip of glow tape on the opposite wall. The shape would draw itself. Hand, keys, foot. Like a kid's shadow puppet, except it would hang there, bright and ugly. The camcorder on a tripod would see it. No Wi-Fi, no cloud, just tape rolling and truth glowing where even I couldn't talk over it. You might think I should have called the police. I did call the non-emergency line and logged what happened. That took 5 minutes. Then I went back to my lights. Because here's the thing. I wasn't after handcuffs. I was after control of the frame. Midnight crept. Coffee went cold. I sat on the stairs and kept my body quiet. Ridge and Briar watched me. I gave them the stay sign. They lay down like stones. Sometimes doing nothing is the hardest work. At 3:57 a.m., the handle twitched. A soft scrape of metal. A whisper. "Try the second key." The smoke tester hissed once, just enough to make the laser lines visible. The red threads cut the haze and painted the wall. A hand with keys bloomed on my plaster like a confession. Then a heel, then a shoulder. It was her. The glow tape drank it in and held it. I didn't shout. I didn't charge. I hit the switch on an old stage light I'd mounted under the eave. It blew the porch into noon. The young guy behind her flinched. You could see his conscience stir. The camcorder blinked its little red light like a heartbeat. Karen froze, face drained, caught in her own picture. She straightened, cleared her throat, and said to no one, "We're just checking. We're trying to help." The boy whispered, "Karen, don't." That was the first crack I saw. Not in my door, in her room of mirrors. I opened the door 2 inches. "Welfare check," I said, "at 4 a.m., with keys that don't belong to you." She took a step back, smoothed her hair, and aimed for calm. "We had reports." "From who?" I asked. She didn't answer. They drifted away, not in a hurry, not proud. Ridge didn't bark. Briar leaned into my leg. Here's what you might be thinking. Post the clip. Go viral. Let the internet chew her up. That's the expected move. That's not mine. You ever hold an ace and choose not to slam it? It burns your fingers. But I had a different table in mind. At sunrise, I dragged my old projector to the driveway and aimed it at my garage door. I set a folding chair in the gutter and a mic stand with no mic. Silent stage. People walking their dogs slowed. Lawn guys paused their blowers. Tom stood with his arms folded, jaw set. I hit play. The wall lit with that red outline of a hand and a heel, drawn in light like a child's drawing of a burglar. No sound, no captions, just the picture. The picture did the talking. Karen turned the corner with her mug. She stopped when she saw it. Her mouth opened, then shut. She stared like a person seeing their own handwriting on a wall they didn't paint. I held the camcorder at my side like a brick. My heart didn't pound. It just steadied. I didn't say her name. I didn't point. I let the silence do the heavy work. Tom stepped forward first. He didn't look at me. He looked at her. "Who sent you?" he asked. 4 words, a simple question with a long shadow. The younger guy from the Homeowner Association who'd been filming last night shuffled in the back, eyes on his shoes. "It wasn't a board action," he muttered. She did it on her own." Karen's face went gray. She tried to smile. It cracked. "We all care about safety," she said to the crowd that wasn't a crowd, just neighbors who were suddenly wide awake. "Do you?" I asked finally. "Because this is my door, and those are my dogs, and that," I pointed at the drawing of her foot kicking my threshold, "is not safety." Have you ever watched someone lose the room without a single shout? It's quiet. It's almost gentle. It also hurts to see, even when they had it coming. Tell me if you've seen it. No details, just yes or no. The projector hummed. The morning warmed. No one clapped. No one booed. They just looked. At her, at me, at the bright outline of a boundary crossed. She turned away. The young guy stayed. He met my eyes for the first time. "I'm sorry," he said. "I didn't sign up for this." "Then don't," I said. It came out softer than I felt. I shut off the projector and rolled the screen back up. The drawing faded from the garage like chalk in rain, but it didn't fade from the people who saw it. That was the point. By noon, the yellow sign on my lawn was gone. I didn't see who took it. My internet flickered back on with an apology email about a clerical mix-up. An envelope appeared in my mailbox with no return address and a prepaid card inside. No note. I didn't need one. I grilled a couple burgers on the back patio and texted Mike, "Come by this weekend. Meet Ridge and Briar properly." He sent a thumbs up. Not a heart, not a paragraph. That's okay. A seed still counts when it's small. That night I locked both bolts on my door. Not from fear, from focus. Rituals matter. They tell your bones you're on duty. But don't think this was over. People like Karen don't fold on one play. They switch games. As I turned off the porch light, I saw a new post on the community page. "We need volunteers for a safety walk. Some neighbors resist simple checks. Be brave." The comments started to bubble. The room she lost this morning, she was already building another. You think I didn't feel that drop in my stomach? I did. And yeah, I know you've been there too, when you went around and realized you might have just woken the bigger fight. By the next night, the street had new shoes on it. Sneakers with reflective strips, clacking water bottles, the bright smiles people wear when they're about to do something for the community. Karen's safety walk moved like a parade that forgot the band. Clipboards, matching vests. One of the Homeowner Association boys was there, not the one who spoke up. Another kid, square jaw, tight hat. He filmed everything again. I stood in the dark behind my screen door and watched the river pass. Ridge and Briar leaned into me, quiet. Funny thing is, when a crowd looks your way and pretends it doesn't, it's louder than a shout. You ever feel a whole block blink at you at the same time? It's like a flash you can't duck. They stopped at my fence. Karen lifted a little device, waved it like a wand. "We're measuring decibels," she announced to no one and everyone. "Just a quick check." "Measure the wind," I called. "It's the only thing talking." She didn't bite. She pointed at the yellow curb and said, "Note the cracks. Trip hazard." The cameraman panned my porch. That lens can feel like a finger. I had an obvious move in mind. Follow them, argue every point, chase each sentence down with a louder one of my own. That's the easy road to nowhere. Here's what I did instead. Let me back up and tell you how it started to break. Morning, I found my trash can tipped, lid off. Bags clawed like a raccoon took a night class in drama. A photo hit the group. Loose trash attracts pests. My driveway looked sloppy in that frame. In my frame, the lid had a clean shoe print. I swept it up, jaw tight. When the story moves without you, every step feels like walking in sand. Tom stepped out, coffee in one hand, leaf blower in the other. "You want me to say something?" he asked. "No," I said, "not yet." About noon, my phone buzzed. Unknown number, a young voice. The kid from the other night, the one who cracked. "Hey, it's Evan," he said. "From the association. I shouldn't be calling, but I wanted you to know. She's saying there's going to be a noise demonstration tonight. They'll stand by your fence and get your dogs going. Then they'll call it evidence." I stared at the far hill until it turned blurry. "Why are you telling me?" He blew out a breath. "My mom's got a lab. If someone did this to her, I couldn't sleep." "You just switched teams," I said. "Maybe I never had one," he said, and hung up. Have you ever had the person you least expect hand you the one piece you needed? You don't trust it right away. You turn it in your palm. You look for hooks. You might be looking at one right now in your own life. Tell me if you've felt that. Here's what happened next. I took the muzzle Karen gave me yesterday, the silly pink one with hearts, and set it on my kitchen table like a dare. I thought about my wife for the first time in weeks without feeling like a floor dropped. She had a way with neighbors. She'd bake them into her plans. She'd say, "Don't fight the tide, redirect it." I could hear her voice while I stared at that plastic. At 4, I walked to Karen's sidewalk with Ridge and Briar on short leads. Karen was there trimming a rose bush that didn't need trimming. She looked up, ready for performance. "We good?" I asked. "We're always good if you cooperate," she said, smile quick and tight. "You said last night was a welfare check," I said. "Tonight what, a concert?" She tilted her head. "If your dogs are safe, you have nothing to worry about." "That sentence has been used for a lot of bad ideas," I said. "But okay." I set the pink muzzle on her fence. "You left this at my place." She didn't touch it. "We have more," she said. "I bet," I said, and walked away. Let me tell you what I realized while I was moving. I couldn't win by shouting into her storm. I needed to make silence heavy again. I needed to make her carry it. Not with a viral post, not with a meeting. With a stage I built on my own curb, just like yesterday, but sharper. I prepped fast. Simple props, bright payoff. I ran a long extension cord to the sidewalk. I set my old projector in a wagon. I clamped a piece of white foam board to my mailbox post like a screen. On it, I taped a single word in fat black letters. Why? Below it, I placed the mic stand again. No mic, no sound. Here's the trick. I loaded the camcorder with last night's red outline, yes, but I also added a fresh clip, the daytime muzzle scene. Me with that toy strapped across my mouth. Humble, ridiculous, plain. I cropped it tight so all you saw was a man looking back through plastic hearts. I wasn't going to make her the star this time. I was going to make the act itself the star, the foot, the key, the muzzle, the night. Patterns show their truth when you put them side by side. Dusk rolled in. The noise demonstration arrived in a clump of bright vests and phone screens. Someone hit a Bluetooth speaker. Cheap drum beat. Hands clapped. Ridge and Briar stirred, then lay down again at my heel. I gave them the stay sign. They chose me over noise. That alone was worth the day. Karen lifted her hand. "We're collecting data," she said like a TV host. "Please do not interfere." I didn't. I clicked the projector to life. The foam board lit up my one-word question. Why? Big as a door. Then the red outline appeared. Hand, key, heel, painting the act in clean lines. I let it hang. No captions, no arrows. Then it cut to the muzzle on my face. 10 seconds, then back to, why? If you've ever felt a room lean, you know what I saw. People's chins came down a fraction, eyes narrowed. It wasn't outrage. It was thought. Thought is slower. It's honest. Karen laughed, thin and bright. "This is intimidation," she announced to her camera. "He's harassing volunteers." I pointed to the silent mic. "Take the stage," I said. "Answer the word. Tell us why you tried my door at 4 a.m. Tell us why I needed a muzzle. Use simple words. We're neighbors." She squared her shoulders. "I don't owe you." Tom stepped up from the side. Not in my team, not in hers, just in the same zip code. "He offered you the mic," he said, voice even. "Seems fair." Evan was there too, pale, hands in pockets. He didn't look at Karen. He looked at the projector like it might burn him. She waved me off. "We don't do show trials," she said, which was funny, considering. "Okay," I said, and clicked the projector off. The screen went dark except for "why." The silence got heavy. The speaker music went thin. Then the plan she thought would trap me sprung itself. A kid in a yellow vest clapped near my fence to trigger the dogs. Ridge looked at me instead. No bark, no show. The kid clapped louder, sheepish. Still nothing. "Maybe they only bark at 4 a.m., someone muttered from the back. Laughter rippled, small but sharp. Karen stiffened. That's the moment. Not a riot, not a vote. A tilt. She hissed at the cameraman. "Focus on the cracked curb." He aimed, then hesitated. "We did that yesterday," he said. It wasn't rebellion. It was fatigue. The room she built was creaking. Have you ever watched a tactic die because it got boring? Because people woke up inside it and saw the gears? It's a quiet death, but it's real. Tell me if you've ever sat through a meeting where the spell broke. Now, I didn't win right there. Don't get cozy. The next hit landed an hour later. My doorbell rang. 2 officers stood on the porch. Not aggressive, tired. "We got a call about a disturbance," one said, eyes drifting to the wagon, the cords, the foam board that said, "Why?" "No disturbance here," I said. "Just a question." Karen hovered on the sidewalk, hands clasped like she'd been praying. The officers glanced at her, then at my dogs lying like rugs. "We see that," the older cop said. He looked past me at the locked chain. "Everyone's calm. Try to keep it that way." He tipped his hat and left. No lecture, no report. Just a human choosing not to be used. It landed soft, but it landed. Karen's mouth pinched. They left. The crowd thinned. The Bluetooth speaker cut off mid-beat. The street went back to crickets and sprinklers. I rolled the wagon inside. The word "why" stayed taped to the board, bright even in the porch light. Later, alone in the kitchen, I set down 2 bowls. Ridge and Briar ate like they always do. I leaned on the counter and felt all of it at once. Anger, relief, the ache that comes after you stand tall all day. I pulled out my phone, scrolled to Mike, and typed, "Sunday, noon." Then I erased it. Then I typed, "I messed up when Mom passed, pulled away, come by anyway." I hit send. My thumb shook. That's a kind of fight too. Midnight. A car eased to a stop outside. Not a cop, not a team, just one set of headlights. A woman got out and walked to my fence. Karen, no phone, no mug, no stage. "Dean," she said, soft. "We should call it even." "Even?" I asked. The word tasted weird. "You got what you wanted," she said. "People saw your little art show. The sign is off your lawn. You humiliated me. We can stop." "You tried my door twice," I said. "You drugged the crowd with words and lit me like a villain. And you want even?" Her jaw tightened. "I tried to help this place. People like order. People like honesty," I said. "Try that." She reached into her tote and pulled out the pink muzzle, set it on my fence like a peace offering. "Keep it," she said, "for the show." "Here's my offer," I said, and stepped closer. I kept my voice low so only we could hear. "I'm done letting you write me. From now on, if you step on my porch at night, I turn on the light. Not just the actual one. The one that puts your choices on a wall you can't edit. No shouts, no names, just a clean mirror. You can walk away from that, or you can fix it." She tried to smile. It failed. She left without taking the muzzle. The porch light buzzed and hummed like a bee. I stood there a long time. 2 days passed. Quiet. The kind of quiet you earn. I mowed. Tom waved and didn't say a word. Evan dropped a folded note through my mail slot. I resigned. That was all. Then a small thing happened that turned big. On Saturday morning, Karen wasn't at the cleanup she created. A new woman led it, gentle voice, soft laugh, no vests, just gloves. They picked up trash and didn't film it. Someone started a grill. Somebody laughed. It sounded normal, not a stage, a block. Around noon, Mike's car pulled up. He walked in with his hands in his pockets, eyes scanning like he was entering an interview. Ridge trotted over, then sat like a good boy. Breyer did the same, leaning into Mike's knee. "They're calmer than I pictured," he said. "They get it from me," I said, deadpan. It cracked him. He smiled. That one. The rare one he had when he was 6 and just figured out how to ride a bike. In the afternoon, a small envelope appeared in my mailbox. No card inside this time. Just my own yellow dog nuisance steak, broken in half. The halves fit. I didn't tape them. I set them side by side on the garage shelf, like a line I wouldn't cross again. You might be asking, was that victory? It didn't feel like a parade. It felt like walking out after a storm and seeing your fence still standing, a little scuffed, still yours. The prize wasn't her apology. It was the room I built that she couldn't command. It was choosing light over noise and setting a rule without yelling. My door, my story. That evening, I fired up the grill again. The sun slid down the hill. Ridge and Breyer gnawed on ice cubes. Mike held a spatula like it was a control panel. He burned the first burger. We ate it anyway. Karen, she didn't disappear. People like that don't. She stayed in her house. Her porch got quieter. Her posts got fewer. When she did speak, it was about potholes and recycling schedules. Useful things. Maybe that's her new stage. Maybe she learned the one lesson I wanted to teach without saying it out loud. Power is not volume. It's trust. And you can't borrow trust with a master key at 4 a.m. Before bed, I took the pink muzzle and hung it on a nail in the garage. Not as a trophy, as a reminder, a prop with a job, to keep me honest, to remind me that the easiest move, mock, blast, go viral, isn't always the right one. Funny thing is, that silly plastic taught me more about boundaries than any meeting ever did. I locked both bolts. I checked the porch light. I stood there and listened. Crickets. A TV murmuring down the block. My heart settling the way a theater settles right before the curtain rises. You know that moment? When the room holds its breath and you decide what kind of show it's going to be? Here's my last question for you. When someone kicks your door, maybe not your real door, but the one in your life, do you kick back or do you change the light? Think about it. Then tell me what you do. I'll be here, 2 dogs at my feet, ready for the next act.